Hey everybody, MrAyrit here. Got a quick amp review for you today, and this one is another offering from Topping. And, a little bit different. I wanted to show you this box because it's a little bit different for a Topping box that I'm used to. Teeny tiny. So this is the A50s. Apos Audio sent this out, so thank you to them. Not influencing me in any way, but wanted me to give this a listen and give my impressions. So I'll link below to their store down there if you want to pick it up from them, just as a thank you. Yeah, I was like shocked at the size of this guy. It feels like the initial weight of it, and it's got this dense feeling to it, right? Like it's got this just density to it that feels just fantastic, and it is just so small. I don't know, I was shocked at how small it is. It's a really small footprint, but feels very, very sturdy. I am always anymore just really impressed with Topping products and just how well they're put together and how good they feel to use, because they do just feel like this volume knob. It feels great. It's maybe a little on the small side, but considering the form factor, it feels good. 1/4 inch and 4.4 Penticon. You've got just a little button here that you press to turn it on, and long press to shut it off, and then when it's on you just press to toggle between the two gain settings there, which is 0 dB and 6 dB. On the back, pretty simple. Just RCA in, RCA out for a pre-out, and then little power supply in for you right there. So this is an actual preamp, right? It's not like the A30 Pro, which was just pass-through, which threw me when I found out it wasn't, because I about blew my speakers. But so yeah, it's a preamp, which means you can if you use the RCA outs, you can control them with this volume knob. So what else do you get? Not a lot. I mean, you get a little power supply here. What's kind of cool with this little guy is you get a couple of different plugs that you can put on, so you can make it work wherever you're at, which is cool. And it's maybe about a 5-foot cable coming out of this, so just knowing that, so you know what you're getting into there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the unit, right? Pretty simple little amp. How does it sound? When I got this, I was not very excited about doing this review, to be perfectly honest with you, just because my experience lately with amps from Topping and things like the IE Magni and the Jot 2 and Lake People G111, geez, they're all just so similar as far as that clean sound, and I thought honestly that this was going to sound just like the A30 Pro, and which was an extremely clean amp. I mean, you can't really fault it for anything, but it didn't have a lot of life to it, and whereas I feel like the Singzer that I've got on hand right now, which is kind of my go-to solid state, although I am starting to get into tubes a little bit more, but it's my go-to solid state, and I think it's because it's got a little bit of character to it. It's got a little bit of flavor, a little bit of nuance, it feels a little more organic, so I just assumed the A50s here would sound exactly like the A30 Pro, and I was pleasantly surprised when that wasn't the case. Now, it's not an extremely colored amp, but it's definitely not the flat, clean, just dead linear, from my perspective, that the A30 Pro is and was, which I think that amp was, quite flat and quite linear and very, very clean. This one adds a little bit of warmth. It's got, in the low end, it's got a little bit of a bump there, and this was pretty noticeable on some headphones. In particular, I've got the Campfire Cascades here, and I did actually prefer those on the A30 Pro just because it's already a bass heavy headphone, but that was super noticeable though when I put it on this. So you can there's definitely a noticeable difference between them, especially in the bass. I would also say that the rest, like this is and again, it's not crazy, but it's noticeable. So there is a bass emphasis in this amp, I would say. And the bass, I would also go as far to say that it's not quite as clean as something like the A30 Pro, but I think there are people that would be willing to make that trade-off for this. I would also say that, you know, the rest of the frequency response, you know, the mid-range and the treble, I would say we're pulled back just a little bit in you know, just compared to the bass, where again something like the A30 Pro I just perceived as just a just dead flat presentation as far as how those frequencies go. So yeah, I mean that's probably pretty much it. I mean, it's not, I would say sound staging too and imaging, probably not the same clarity level and not the openness that again the A30 Pro or the Singzer has. But you know, if you've got a pair of headphones that you want to have a little bit more bass, or you like a little more bass and you want to pull those other frequencies down just a little bit, yeah, I mean, I could see you wanting to pick this guy up. Again, the build is just wonderful. I mean, I didn't have the D50s DAC to pair with it to try it. I was running it off the Bifrost 2, but you know, having that little stack, that would be like a very clean, nice, high quality little stack to have on your desk. I could see people going for it, especially if you could pick it up a good deal used somewhere. It'd be worth a shot. I don't know for me if it's what I need. I mean, I definitely don't need it with the Singzer here, but yeah, I guess I was just again, the main point of the story here is I was pleasantly surprised that this just wasn't the same exact thing as like the A30 Pro, just in a smaller package. It's a little bit different, and I like having, you know, at least a little bit of variety and flavors for people to kind of choose from and fine tune things. So if you've got a dead flat solid state and you feel like you need a little more bass in your life, then take a look at the A50s. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. Not much else to say about it. So clean amp, but just a little bit of a bass boost in it. So there you go. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.